Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. I got a nice little lesson for you today. I'm teaching today. I'm going to put my teaching hat on because I got a nice lesson that I want to teach. So pay attention. I'm going to teach you how to reach the state of lucidity. I took you through the distracted mind state. I took you through the dull mind state. Let me teach you how to reach the lucidity mind state, okay? That's represented by harmony, purity, and balance. Good information. Let's go. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will not get through. Pay attention. I got you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Maya be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about my favorite, how to reach the state of lucidity. It means on the 42 Confessions of Maya, it states the number 26, I have not stopped my ears against the words of right and wrong. I tell you all the time, I'm a student in life, so I'm always, my ears are open for more information, and I can decipher be it right or wrong when I hear it. So that's my understanding, and that's from the book Coming Forth by Day, and it's on the 26 on the 42 Confessions of Maya. They might have changed. No, they shouldn't change that one. That should never change. Okay? So now we're going to talk about the state of lucidity that represents harmony, opposites come together for the better cause, purity of one's heart by doing good deeds, and maintaining balance in one's thinking and right actions. I love to get that in every chance I get. Why? The balance of it. What? Your brain. You got two sides. Most of us only use half of our brain. So you can't have 100% capacity use of your brain if you're just using one side. So understand that. Please. That's just a thought concept. You got to use both sides. That's why I give you this. I give you this. That's a symbol. It's a sign. Okay? Subliminal message. Think with both sides, not just one. Think. It ain't illegal yet. It will be at the rate y'all going. Moving on, get to the lesson now. Now I'm teaching. This is the fun part for me. I'm going to interject every chance I get. Okay, so bear with me. When Het Haru, this is the third phase, when she met Tahuti, a new form of awareness began to develop where? In her heart. Only time a person is going to change, and hear me good on this, I'm going to interject every chance I get. Like I said, the only time a person will change is it started from the heart. If their heart ain't in it, don't waste your time. My third eye vision tells me what your sincerity is, how your heart pumps, and I can see it ain't pumping what I need, so I'm going to leave you be. Okay, like my x-ray vision. I see what you're looking at. I look at the heart of people. A lot of people's hearts ain't good. Moving on. And if the heart ain't good, you might well just go on, keep stepping. Okay? At first, she desired to kill and eat him. Remember, she's in lion form, so she was destructive, and he looked like food to her. However, being him who he was, intellect, he used his beguiling charm his wit, and his elegance to catch her interest. He appealed to her. Back in the day when I was a ladies' man, I wanted to know their sign. I wanted to know what they like. Why? So I could appeal to their sense of interest and slide on up in there. And they believed in the hereafter. They knew what I was hereafter. Moving on. It's just a concept like that jokey joke. But when you can get to a woman's soft spot, then she gonna open up. If I can get him, if I can meet him, I can get him. Okay, the gift of gab. And she spared his life, okay, and began to what? Listen. The first part about learning is what? Listening. That's why I said the ears. My ears are not stopped to words coming in from somebody other than myself or what I'm doing. I can learn from any area and anybody. All I got to do is listen, and you hear what? Okay, the first thing is to listen. You want to learn. Listen. Well, yeah, you call it. Well, what the hell was that? Oh, okay. She spares life because she began to listen to, excuse me. But in so doing, when you do that, she was now opening up the door to what? Conscious expansion. Now she's able to what? Learn. If you're not listening, you can't learn. When people have a belief, they shut their listening format off. Though they're not listening to nothing you say. No, they believe it, you can forget it. Moving on. That's what she didn't do. That's why I don't do it. Why? You shut off what knowledge you can learn and gain if you keep your ears open to what's right and wrong. Your discernment lets you know if it's right or wrong. So to shut it off don't make sense to me. So I'm always, like I said, I'm a master of my craft. I'm a student in life. Moving on. Most human beings are caught between the mindset of the first two stages of consciousness. Again, at one point in time or another, until you reach this level of lucidity or awakened conscious spirit, you are caught between lower and mid. So you're hovering around here, okay? And it's up to you to what? Want to rise. There is a mixture of what we call distraction movement. I showed you the diagram. And then you got the dullness movement. That's the bottom of the barrel. That's where we are in human form. Humans are the lowest form. We got to raise our consciousness to what? To raise our ability to what? Know ourselves. That's the name of the game. And that's what people don't understand. Excuse me. They think in human form. So they think life is about getting, having, and doing materialistic stuff. We're spiritual beings having human experience. Get used to that and understand it, and you live better. And so doing, she listened to him. And so doing now, she was opening the door to what? Expand her consciousness, to learn. Pay attention. I'm teaching. Now, most human beings are, again, caught up in that state of mind where what? Movement from distracted movement to dullness. And most people, I call dullness, that's ignorance, okay? But in this state of human beings, in this state, the human being does not want to what? Sit still. Come tune in my channel in order to what? Listen to what a spiritual philosopher has to say about what? The nature of the soul and about the method to attaining what I say spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. So if they're forced to listen to me, what they do, what? Their mind falls into what? Even another state of dullness. So they will now what? Actually fall asleep. When you are so lack of interest in something, you're going to fall asleep. That's dullness. That's ignorance. Okay, that's showing no respect. And you can't hear nothing when you sleep. Nothing comes to sleep or what? But a dream. Some people like to live in the dream world. We spend 1/3 of our life dream world. It's not the real world. We spend 2/3, hopefully, in the awakened world. And guess what? The ancients in Native America said the 1/3 is the real world. I'm tending to agree. So it's just a philosophical concept. And everything has been through, you can conceive it and understand it. Another thing. When you put it to use, you see if it works or not. That's all. Everybody got theology. Everybody got concepts. But manifest them. Put them to use. You can dream the impossible dream. No, manifest it. So, all right. Now, if it is only what? The stress of your egoistic, ignorant desires, which is suppressing and keeping you from which, what? Positive, excuse me. Positive and true, what? It was your ignorance. and your egoistic desires is what's suppressing that which is what positive and true and good within what? Your human heart. Your heart is pure. You take the heart by what? The ego. That's why the heart mind gotta work as one. If the mind is in control, which is the ego, because the mind ain't awakened, it ain't connected to the heart got to suffer through all that nonsense, spiritual conception. But in some brief and rare occasions, what happens? There is an experience of peace, balance, and contentment, and even tranquility in one's own mind, even though they're ignorant and they're lower level. Everybody has experience, and that's what they look forward to, right? Many times, these feelings only come about, and they have them for a brief period of time. Why? Because after an object or the desire that was required or wanted, the situation which desired comes true, that moment you're happy. That's not happiness. That's temporary happiness. That's only because you got something you wanted. You got something that you asked for, whatever, however you obtain it. But that's not happiness. Happiness is knowing who you are. Happiness is being free to think, do, and be as you please. Because what? You know who you are. But these experiences are only what? When you do it like that, only glimpses of what? The totality of what happiness and peace, which relies what? In one's heart. These experiences, it's okay to me not right here. However, when you had that little glimpse of happiness because you got a new car, got a new relationship, got a new house, got a new job, got a new position, those are things that make you happy. And that's all what? Material. All of it. Ain't nothing I just said is anything of substance, of spiritual or consciousness within oneself. That's not what can make you happy. The knowledge of self, becoming your best self, should please you. Trust me. And in order to discover this, your body and your mind, the senses, whenever you hear senses, that means the 5 senses that signal to the brain. That's what the brain uses for the physical body to communicate with. But now the heart sends a signal to the brain. Once the heart and the brain become one, ooh, buddy, that's how you know who you are. That's much the state of balance. That's how you reach balance, when the heart and mind come one. And that's harmony. Two opposites come together. It leads to what? Peace. Where? Within oneself. They call it supreme peace, the supreme good. Sun and Bonham, they had a word for it because it was something that they obtained, something that they knew about, and they practice it on a regular basis. Moving on. But this is possible only through what? The daily practice of right thinking philosophy, we call it yoga, by listening to the teachings, reflecting upon those teachings, and then what? Living in accordance with those teachings, with the daily meditation upon those teachings and other things, and practicing the teachings of who? Maya, aka right thinking philosophy, because that's what I practice. I just call it that because I'm doing my thing. But it's in my philosophy that teaches you all the things you need to know to what? Lighten one's heart. I'm about to break it down for you. We get into the good stuff. Now, I gave you the advertising. Here come the meat and potatoes. The good stuff is coming up. Let's rock. So when right thinking philosophy yoga is practiced, you are purifying a movement wherein the ignorance, the delusions, the restlessness, the anger, the anxiety, the hatred, the greed, the lust, I got more, egoism, selfishness, and all negative vices such as foolish pride, covetousness, lust, anger, envy, gluttony, and sloth within our heart has all been cleansed, eradicated. When you practice right thinking philosophy and implement it in your daily life, you would take all those negative qualities outside of yourself, and your heart will be light as a feather. That's the concept, and I practice it. I can tell you, yes, that's how it works. So therefore, when you hear Tahuti, he represents the light of right reasoning, right thinking, and intuitional understanding about what? Your innermost reality, which is within one's heart, and becoming conscious of it. Tahuti is the brain. The heart is where the spirit is. Once they come one, you know who you are, and your heart is the guide that takes you to the next level. Why? It needs to be purified. My philosophy teaches how to do that. And now Tahuti is the sage. Tahuti is the thinking, the mind of God, who is sent by God, his messenger, to what? Find the wayward child, which is all our ignorance, all those under his banner of ignorance. He wants you to go find them and what? Enlighten them. Why? So he can come home to me. I like that. I just came up with that concept. I can't wait to get this one out. That's what I'm teaching now. The Spirit is from God. He sends it out to have the experience. We all send our kids out to the world. We all do. But the one who you trust to what? Enlighten them is the teachers that are out in the world. Tahuti is the ultimate teacher, the ultimate sage. We got teachers who practice what I'm doing now. I'm doing my Tahuti thing now, trying to save all the wayward children so they can make it home when this physical life is over. Bam. Ooh, I like that. But that's the concept. And the soul is God's wayward child. All of us in the flesh. And to import what? Find them and import wisdom, which leads to their what? Illumination of what? Of the heart and the inner discovery of one's true self. They got to find themselves within themselves. Ra is hidden. Ra, the physical part in the sky. But Amun is hidden inside your consciousness. That's what the goal is, to find for yourself. And this is a principle of philosophy that is so pervasive that even in human culture to this day, that it has still found expressions in what we call the initiatic way of education as practiced first where in ancient times and the ancient Egyptian temples, and later even in the Indian Upanishads and the epics of Krishna, Rama, and much later, how about this? The Christian baptism of who? Jesus by who? John the Baptist. So Jesus had a teacher, a master that he followed at one point in time. Why? It had to be enlightened. He had to be taught. He had to go through the process. We all do. He's the prototype to show you how it's done. So you really get excited. But he ain't the first. That's all. But these stories, that's what they are, have one factor, and they all have the same thing in common. What's that? It is the relationship of what? The sage with what? The disciple, the students, wherein y'all are gaining spiritual knowledge that's imparted from who? The spiritual philosopher, a.k.a. the sage. That's what I'm here doing for you on a day-to-day basis. I got you. All you guys do and tune in. My job is being done. Yours is on you. Let's rock. And the myth of Het Hadoop and Tahuti is really you, about you, in different stages and forms of your consciousness. And similar to what? The other important initiatic myth in our ancient Egypt, watch this, we got one where we use what? The Osirian resurrection myth, in which the young child, Haru, the spirit that's in me and you, is taught about the mysteries of the soul and of the universe by who? His mother, Aset. The strongest mother, the strongest magic holder, the one who knew the magic words of Ra, knew Ra's real name. She could bring you back to life. And the spiritual preceptor, a.k.a. the teacher, which represented, Aset. She represents wisdom and intuitive knowledge. She knows all. In modern times, okay, let's fast forward. Take it out there. This tradition, watch this, of spiritual preceptor or spiritual philosopher and spiritual aspirant's relationship. You're the aspirant, you tune in. You're the student, I'm the teacher. My job is I put it down for you. I'm the content creator. I put it together and put it there for you to come and get it, to obtain it. And that's relationship. And it has been continued for millennia through the gurus and sages of Indian yoga and the Sufi gurus of the Near East. I don't know, the East, Far East, whatever, Middle East, okay, but Near East, and even in Egypt. In popular culture, what's this? Here's when I get the best part right there. This I can tune in right here. This is my story. In popular culture, the same teachings has found expressions through popular films. What films? Such as, you ready? Star Wars, the trilogy, Lion King, okay? These is real stories from our ancients. My man George Lucas said, yeah, he went to Egypt and stole the story, took the concept and put it into he modernized it. Now, everybody down with the Jedi. The Jedi put up that Patel stands on. Okay, we got all the information. He just took bits and pieces and put it his way, and they ate it up. I loved it. Why? It gave you mental food for thought to give you different concepts and ideas. You can take what you want from it, use whatever you need, and move on. That's all. Every learning process is the same thing. You ain't gonna learn every little thing. You take what you interest, like learning a la carte. You take what you like and let the rest go. However, before spiritual knowledge can be imparted, here we go. This is the part I got to get my people to right here. Before I can do my job to impart spiritual knowledge, the spiritual aspirant, which is you, right thinkers, you must have your own aspirations of what? To learn, to want to know. That's the difference right there. When it comes to any order, any secret order, the question is, are you here of your own free will and accord? Did anybody coerce you, promise you things, threaten you? That's what everything you had to be done, what? For yourself. And if you're aspirant, that means you aspire to be your best self. I can help you. What? I got the information you need. This implies that you have now a desire to what? Go beyond the pettiness of ignorance and sorrow of what? Ordinary human existence. Most people think that's normal to struggle, to go through hell. They think that's normal because it got so embedded in them. It's just, they think it's normal. It's not. But to have ordinary human existence, do petty existence, ordinary nonsense, as well as now the maturity you have to what? Be able to accept the responsibilities for what? Your own condition. Stop the blame game. Because it wasn't for him. It wasn't for him. How could it wasn't for him? Stop the name blaming game. This means that you now, that there can be no more blaming of others for your troubles. Feathers, remember, feathers you cause on by yourself. We like to point outward. Why? I tell you, these two eyes only see out. The third eye sees in, it sees all. That's what you need to be using to what? See yourself. And its own IRE. Your actions is what you're going to get behind. Remember, you reap what you sow. And IRE is action, which has led one to one's what? Present condition. Whatever got you here is because what you did previously. Simple as that. Be it good or bad. Okay? Conversely, it is your present self-effort in the area of what? Shidi, meaning spiritual practice. I do that daily. Why? I teach, so I have to study. I'm constantly doing that. Like I say, I'm a master of my craft, and I stay sharp by doing that, but I'm also a student in life, so I'm constantly learning from that aspect also. When you practice in spiritual disciplines, now you will be led one out of what? Adversities and into more spiritual as well as material prosperity. When things are going bad, Murphy's Law, when I was living wrong, we lived under Murphy's Law. What could go wrong, would go wrong. When you're living spiritually, you're living right, what could go wrong can't go wrong. Why? Because you're doing the things you need to avoid those situations in your life. You ain't got to do it with somebody else. The path that you walk, I slide between the molecules of nonsense like an eel through seaweed. Why? I live right. I do right. So I'm avoiding all the nonsense in life that if you didn't, you would bump into it every chance you get. And that's the repeated nonsense we go through on a day-to-day basis. So you're responsible for the position and condition that you're in, which will lead one to either called catching hell or prospering. We see people who live right prospering. People who live right don't catch hell. Come on, man. Stop. Why? It don't work that way. That's why. Lucidity. Here we go. I'm taking it home. Oh, Lord. All right, wrapping it up. Lucidity, a.k.a. right thinking, implies right reasoning, clarity, wit, sanity, soundness, saneness. These are all qualities that you exhibit as a right thinker to get to lucid concept, lucid mind. Also, it implies, watch this, righteousness, trustfulness, universal love, harmony, peace, and selflessness. Ooh-wee. Those are all good things that you can practice in. When you implement them things, there's something that comes with that. So therefore, in order for you to develop true lucidity, as a spiritual aspirant, you need to practice these virtues. When? Daily. Every day in your life. While what? At the same time. Not going off somewhere until I'm going to become a... No. At the same time, studying. And studying the teachings at the foot of an authentic spiritual philosopher or preceptor or sage or saint. I fit the bill, I point to the hat as a sage. And when a positive movement is engendered by you personally, now there becomes a greater and greater awareness of what? The deeper spiritual realities that culminates in what? Self-discovery, aka know thyself. That's the goal. My right thinkers. I'm trying to get you there. Your job is to get yourself there by putting the work in, and you'll reach it best by that. And this is symbolized, I'm back taken home, by what? Het Hadu's discovery of what? Her true essential nature as what? Being one with Ra. Remember, there was one that he sent her out. He wanted back. Our souls are on loan. Ra want him back. He want him back. He sent Tahuti so that you can make it back home. Get the concept? I love that. But the supreme being at this point is Ra, and thus assuming her rightful place back with her father, Ra. That's us. Most human beings, ignorant of that, they think that their rightful place, watch this, I belong a member of some social club, I'm part of an ethnic group, I'm part of a political group, etc. All that I'm this, and don't know who the hell they are, so they stuck on stupid, so to speak. And when in reality, this is only an effervescent and minuscule expression of the totality of who we really are if we recognize who we really are. Gods in the flesh, spiritual beings having a human experience. And when you become enlightened, you become a Akus, an enlightened being, somebody who knows himself. And it is like, watch this, the sun expressing as a reflection in a pool of water, falling into the delusion of thinking what, or believing, I am just this little reflection. And forgetting its true identity as being the sun. Just like the cup of water, just like the wave in the ocean. So to every human being who has forgotten his or her true identity, however, through what? Compassion and love of who? The higher self, aka God, the message of truth and love, which leads one to spiritual enlightenment with daily practice. And this is called what? The return home, as it were. Our destiny is to go back from which we come, Masons. Okay, you travel the east to get the knowledge so that when you die, you go to the west, become a Westerner. But that's because you need to find and know who you are. And this is brought on by a genuine spiritual personalities who have emerged as what? From the past to this day as great teachers and leaders throughout history. We've always had somebody teach us the philosophy, the concept, and it's always continued. I'm just in the line now. I done plug my thing in. I'm on my job. So their spiritual enlightenment is the goal for all my people who practice my philosophy. I want you to obtain spiritual enlightenment, and that means you make contact with your higher self for yourself, and this will allow you to transmit the teachings of yourself for all who wish to find what true peace and happiness. That's what I'm doing. That's defining just what I'm doing with what I got. After I got it, I couldn't wait to give it to somebody else. And I'm here every day doing that, wrapping it up. Thus, their disclosures and the writings of the self-spiritual scripture are to be considered what? As authoritative sources for spiritual enlightenment, aka, and you should be sought after and studied by those who want to learn what it is you know. I know a few things. Tune in. I'll let you know what I know on a daily basis. Have been doing that, and we'll continue to do that. You tune in. I got you. And in closing, right thinkers, man, you all live to be 100. Be 100 minus that day. So I've never known my right thinkers who know how now to reach a lucidity state of mind have passed away. And when you reach that state, you know we don't die.